I'm Sarah, this is Abby, and welcome to Azul Unlimited. I'm a scuba instructor, and I lived in my van for a little over 3 years after living abroad as a dive shop owner. Now I'm living in an old sailboat with the hopes of sailing and diving around the Pacific Northwest and beyond. On this channel, you'll get scuba lessons, dive site explorations, and sailing adventures. Join the community here on YouTube or come diving with me around the world on one of my expeditions. I'm back in the van for the first time since last year. I'm going to spend the weekend here because this is my Pacific Northwest meetup. Tonight we're doing a potluck at Underwater Sports, and I just pulled into their parking lot, so I need to cut up some veggies and get things prepared. Tomorrow we're doing the missile silo dive, and then Sunday will be Saltwater State Park. I'm bringing hummus and veggies and chips and drinks, and other people are bringing a bunch of other yummy stuff. I put this little meetup together because one of my Patreon supporters said that he was gonna be up here in Seattle. We met up in San Diego, but our dive day got canceled and we haven't been able to dive together. So I was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be here, like, let's do this. And then he had to cancel. He's doing very good, important work, so I understand. But yeah, that's how this came to be. We'll dive together eventually. Bum, bum, bum.
And then as we were going up the pipe, we saw where did you see this thing? Point Whitney, but they did it.
Like I said before, I have not stayed in here since summer. Everything seemed like it was okay until I plugged in my fridge. My solar, like, everything started acting funny. I was getting this, like, sort of fading in and out power, and then I tried to reset something and got a crazy error that I've never seen before. I don't have any of the tools that I need here to fix that, so I'm down to a string light thing. And luckily I am parked in front of my friend Anna's house, so I'm charging all of my dive lights, and my fridge is in her house at the moment. So that just got added to my project list for next week. Great. We're getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to go out to this silo, so good night.
Hungry? Roll over to
The advertisements never end.
2 roller grill items for $4.
We're going to the silo!
Diet Coke forever!
Oh God. I can't talk. I'm having instant coffee this morning, so.
Well, I'm awake. I am a morning person.
I can't really see. Oh, there you go. 5:22. And we're already dancing.
Yeah, I mean, is there any other way to go?
The Titan 1 missile silo is located near Royal City, about a 3 to 4 hour drive from Seattle.
Hills are alive with the sound of scuba.
This is not your first debut singing on my channel.
I know.
The landscape is beautiful and varied, with views of the mountains and central Washington farmland.
There's also a man cave over here. The Green Bay Packers. Seahawks.
As long as there isn't any snow or ice, most cars can make the trip. Just don't bring your super low clearance vehicle and you'll be fine. Good morning! Hello. Let's talk about packing for this trip. I recommend taking plenty of water and electrolytes for the day, sunscreen for your surface interval, snacks, and comfortable shoes for the dry side tour after the dives.
We're going to be going into here,
Okay.
on this side, and then there's another one here and then another one here.
Also consider the time of year for your visit. Summer gets insanely hot out here, and you'll probably want a dry suit for the dive, so lots of hydration is key. Go this way. Nothing goes nowhere. But also be mindful about your liquid intake. Sick. There are porta potties at the dive site, but there is a decent amount of walking once you're kitted up to even reach the dive site. I have heard of someone accidentally peeing their dry suit on this dive, but I will not be naming names around here.
When were you there? What month?
Originally constructed in the early 1960s during the Cold War, the Titan I missile silo was designed to house missiles capable of being launched in the event of nuclear conflict. Like many other silos, it was decommissioned just a few years after becoming operational, due in part to the rapid advancement of missile technology. It sat dormant and abandoned for years, allowing the silos to fill with groundwater, creating deep, flooded, vertical structures that now draw in adventurous divers like us. Access to the site is on private land, so you can only do this dive with the dive shop Undersea Adventures.
This is the question about which shoe for the ladder.
There we go.
I am not the most,
You're doing great.
thanks.
Want me to hold? I got it.
Come on, baby.
Beautiful camera recovery. Ooh, look at you guys. I usually lick this to get the water spots off. I'm not going to do that today. Not going to do it today.
This dive is for advanced recreational divers with good buoyancy and comfort in dark, overhead environments.
Here we go, guys. Let's do it.
You must bring a light, and a backup is a good idea, a computer, and an appropriate exposure suit.
That's sick.
The water temperature is in the low 50s, even in the summertime.
Okay. There's another one. I'm straddling it right here. Okay. Yeah. You okay? Teamwork.
The guides act as safety divers, hanging out in the rafters, keeping track of everyone, so be comfortable with dive planning and buddy diving.
So dive buddies. Okay, you ready?
Also, be conservative with your dive planning because this is a remote dive site, and although we had emergency oxygen, proper care is a long way off, especially if you count the trek through the tunnels from the dive site to the cars. Several people were nervous about this dive. We knew we were heading into confined spaces with no natural light. It reminded me of, let's say, cave diving light, because even though it was pitch black and there were tight spaces to swim through, it was actually possible to reach the surface and check out the ceiling of the silo. Descending into the silo is a surreal experience. It's a vertical shaft of cold, clear fresh water that stretches over 100 feet deep, lined with ghostly remnants of its military past, including blast doors, elevator shafts, electrical grids, and even an eyewash station. Visibility is typically excellent, at least until divers get in and start mucking it up. Even if everyone has great buoyancy, the bubbles disturb the sediment. Now let's talk a little bit more about gear. Although I am an avid side mount diver, honestly, it wasn't the tool for this specific dive job. I chose it because my back mount regulators need servicing, but it wasn't fun to deal with a tank on my side while walking through the partially flooded tunnels. At the very least, I'm glad I did single tank side mount because 2 tanks are overkill for this dive. I didn't need the extra air since dives were only 40 to 50 minutes. We weren't limited to that time frame, but it was a natural dive time, especially because of the aforementioned bathroom availability. I actually think the best tool for this type of dive would be a rebreather. Maybe another time.
We're gonna swim at the surface through the tunnel. Bye.
After the dives, we explored the dry sections of the site, a labyrinth of corridors, machinery rooms, and storage facilities. The dry side tour ended up being just as interesting as the dives, and for me, actually a heck of a lot creepier. Horror movie scenes kept flashing through my mind as we walked down pitch black tunnels. For some reason, I just feel safer with my tank underwater. Long before scuba divers became frequent visitors, the silo had a local reputation as an eerie, off-limits adventure site. In the years after it was decommissioned and abandoned, local teens turned the area into a secret hangout. Stories circulated of late-night parties, and graffiti began to pop up throughout the chambers deep inside. Though dangerous and strictly unauthorized, these unofficial visits added to the silo's mystique and embedded it further into regional folklore.
That's epic. Wow. I'm coming right for you!
After the silo, we closed the meetup with a mellow dive at Saltwater State Park, a favorite local dive site in the Puget Sound.
Let's go! It's in my hands, you have the place. When you walk into the fire, baby. Where are we going? Where are we parking? Hey! Abby, Abby, Abby! Hey! Hi! Nice that person? Hi! Where's your sweet girl?
While not as dramatic as the silo, the park offered up a classic Puget Sound experience, a night dive in the middle of the day. but the low visibility didn't get us down.
Looks good.
Buddy.
Nice. You're on the Buddy app, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like on your butt, basically. Yeah. Okay.
A couple of divers with scooters were kind enough to run a mini taxi service out to the dive site, and we were all very grateful to be saved from that long surface swim. I took limited footage that day, but I have a previous video with much better visibility covering more information on how to dive the site and what you can see. It's linked in the description below.
Nice.
The meetup was a success, and it got me completely fired up for my next event, the Socorro Dive Expedition. Sending a big thanks to everyone who joined and helped make the weekend unforgettable. I'm always blown away by how awesome all of you are.
Epic. Nice.
And that's it. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more from the Azul Unlimited community, join us over on Patreon or sign up for one of my upcoming diving expeditions. Okay, love you. Bye.
Yeah, the water port holds about 5 gallons.
Stop it.
And you can pressurize it either with an inflation bottle with a little tire thing. Pressurize it here. Or the other option is to do it manually here as well.
Okay, okay.
And with this, you use it. I fill it. If I fill a 5-gallon bucket with hot water, or with water first, then I have an immersion heater that heats it up to 160 degrees, and then I just transfer it into this. But I don't drive with it on the back.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, really handy.
You're like, let me have some.
Where's all the sand coming from?